Sawadika, Metster. I'm Jeremy
Hey,
Zucker.
Metster, it's Lucas
It's Martin
Graham.
Garrix here, and you're listening to Met 107.
Yeah, hey guys, thank you so much for having me. I'm so stoked about my album, and I'm so happy that you guys are here.
Yes, we are stoked about your album as well. And, you know, your debut single, Driver's License, took the world by storm. It really just was such a global, massive hit. How did that feel for you? What was going through your mind when you started hearing it everywhere like we all did?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I had no expectations really going into Driver's License. I was kind of just going with the flow, but even if I did have expectations, never in my wildest dreams would I have ever expected that it would have the sort of success that it did. It was just super, super surreal, and I really still can't wrap my head around everything that sort of happened. Because the song came out and I was in quarantine and it was just like in my house. It was so strange to sort of see all these numbers on my phone and all these records being broken, but I've never actually played like a real show and like seen anyone sing the song. So anyway, but it was so cool. And I resonate with the song a lot. And so it was really cool to see other people resonate with it, no matter their age or gender or whatever. It was really cool.
Absolutely. And what was there a pivotal moment? Was there a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this is huge. I never expected it to be this huge, but this is really what broke it for me and made me realize. Yeah,
it was on Saturday Night Live, which is like this sketch comedy show in America that I'm like so obsessed with. And they did like a skit about how Driver's License like was sad enough it even like affected like grown men, which I thought was super cool. And that's sort of when I knew I was like, oh wow, this is like really sort of like impacting culture, I guess. That was like the coolest moment for me. And I think that's sort of when I knew that like, oh my gosh, this is like a bigger thing than I initially expected.
Oh, so huge. Yeah, SNL is such a big thing.
Yeah.
And so with Deja Vu, can you tell us a bit more about your inspiration behind the track?
Yeah, I am obsessed with the concept of deja vu. I think it's super interesting, and I get deja vu all the time. And so I thought it would be cool to sort of use deja vu to describe how it feels watching like a partner of yours move on with somebody else and sort of do all the same things. And so I had that like hook in my notes app in my phone, when she's with you to get deja vu. And so my collaborator, Dan Nigro, and I sort of built a whole world around that hook. And we just like made a bunch of specific things that this partner and I did together, and we were trying to be really vivid and specific. And that's how Deja Vu came to be. And I'm really happy that people are liking it.
We are loving it, and we're so excited. May 21 is the big day for Sour to come out, and I know a lot of media here, our media partners today, have questions about it as well. So we'll get into some of the pre-selected questions that our media partners have asked. Cool. Okay, so the first one comes from GMA News here in the Philippines. They're asking, tell us about your music influences. Who are you listening to now?
Yeah, I am influenced by like every genre of music. I think you can find so many different influences in Sour. There's like pop punk references, there's grunge references, there's like some country references, and definitely like folk references. And that sounds like crazy to say, because it's like, whoa, what's the record gonna sound like? That's like so like weird and all over the place. But I really tried to take all of those references and sort of make them my own and put my own voice to them. Right now, I'm oddly like listening to a lot of rap for some reason. I think I finished my record and I was like, I can't listen to singer-songwriter music anymore. So I'm like listening to a lot of rap music now.
Who are you listening to as far as rappers?
Yeah, I'm listening to a bunch of Cardi B. I love like female rappers. Like I love Cardi B, Nicki, and Megan Thee Stallion, and Flo Milli, and people like that. So that's what I've been listening to now.
Perfect. And when you came out with Deja Vu, I thought it was so refreshing because, new artists can kind of go with what was a hit, and continue with something melodic and more of a ballad, I guess, as Driver's License. But it was so good. It made me even more excited to hear the other releases we're going to hear on Sour.
Thank you. Yeah, it was super important to me that the next song I put out after Driver's License wasn't super similar to Driver's License, because I think I'm such a versatile songwriter, and I like draw from so many different inspirations and genres. I just wanted to like showcase that in the first singles I put out. So that makes me really happy that you say that. Thank you.
No problem. And from Singapore, 98.7, we have a question. They are asking, what real life events inspired the songs on your debut album, Sour?
Yeah, I wrote Sour mostly when I was 17. So Sour is sort of just a slice of my 17-year-old life, and just about all of like, you know, the sadness and anger and jealousy and insecurity that I felt in that period of my life. I think like 16, 17 are very much like transitive periods in like teenagehood. So it's just sort of about all those feelings I was feeling then.
Yeah, a lot of angst. You got to get it out.
I love angst, yes.
And in Indonesia, Prambors Radio is asking, in everything that you do in your songwriting, your authenticity shines through. Who inspires you to be your most authentic self?
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I try so hard to do that. You know, there's a lot of artists that I've grown up listening to that are so courageous in their lyricism and daring with their music. And I definitely draw a lot of inspiration from them. But just on a more personal level, I think like my close friends and my family are really supportive of me, whilst also like maintaining applying no pressure to me and being like, you have to be this way. And I think that really gives me the confidence and the bravery to sort of be my most authentic self in all my music, because I know that I'll be accepted by the people that I'm closest to. So that gives me a lot of confidence.
Awesome. Awesome. And in Thailand, the Standard Pop is asking, why did you call the album Sour?
Yeah. A couple of different reasons. I was super inspired by like sort of late 90s, early 2000s grungy, angsty music. And I felt like sour was another word for like angsty too, which I like. But I was also like, I was trying to write a song actually called Sour, because I was obsessed with this concept of like relationships going sour, and also like your relationship with yourself going sour. And I felt like that was like a really great way to sort of describe this period of life that I was in when I wrote the album. Just sort of all these things that were once so awesome and sweet, just sort of decaying and going sour. So that's why I named it Sour, and it also has my initials on it, which is a fun bonus.
That makes sense. Yeah, very good. Yeah, I didn't even catch that. That's a nice little hidden treasure for your album. Yeah. And the album artwork, I have to, put this in. My radio co-host, his name's Renzo, and I absolutely love the album artwork, but we also love the alternate cover.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Some people were saying that they liked the alternate cover better, which is so interesting. I mean, I love that like concept of a spoiled party. I think that's very like sour. So we did that in like the alternate Target cover, and people really like that too. So maybe we're gonna have to like go with more of that theme as we progress throughout the album. But it was super fun to sort of create those, art covers. It's sort of fun as like I'm like a new artist, and it's so fun for people just be like, what do you want your album cover to be like? And I'm like, oh, it's up to me. That's so cool. I get to like create whatever I want. So that was really fun.
And I want to have a blah face, and that's fine. That really goes with the album.
Definitely, I try to look like as possible.
So Mix in the Philippines is asking, in a Disney feature, you mentioned how proud you are of your Filipino heritage and that you're even a lumpia fan. So they're really proud. We're really proud to call you our very own. Can you tell us more about your Filipino side? Words where in the Philippines your family is from, anything you really want to share with us? Yeah,
oh my gosh. My dad is Filipino and his family is Filipino, so that's sort of where I get, sort of all of that from. I'm actually not sure where my family is from. I know that I have a couple of, like, my dad has, like, cousins there and stuff that I really want to go visit one day. So, yeah, I'm really hoping that I can come to the Philippines sooner rather than later. I hear it's amazing, and I can't wait to meet all of, like, the Filipino fans and stuff. I think that'd be incredible.
Yes, we're just waiting for the pandemic to be done so that you could come visit us.
I know. As soon as I'm like fully vaxxed, I'm like going all over.
Southeast East Asian tour. We will be expecting you. In Singapore, class 95 is asking, what do you remember about the day you got your driver's license? Was it an easy pass?
Oh my gosh. I was so nervous to get my driver's license. I was the most prepared driving test candidate you have ever seen in your life. I read the entire DMV handbook and practice. I went around the DMV. I drove every route around the DMV so many times because I was so determined on passing. But I actually only got one thing wrong on my driver's test, which I'm very proud of. I think you can get 7 things wrong, and I got 1. So I brag about that all the time. But actually, when we pulled into the DMV, the test guy, he didn't say anything. He was just writing on his page, and I was all timid. I was like, did I pass? I was so scared. And he's he didn't even tell me. He gave me the paper. And he's go to the front desk. I was like, okay. And I passed, and I went to the front desk, and I was so excited. And yeah, this the day after I got my driver's license, I sort of drove around and
everywhere.
Driver's license was born. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. That's such a nice story. And I think it just shows how passionate and focused you can be with whatever you want in your life.
So I hope so. I wanted that driver's license so bad.
Okay, so Indonesia, we got Compass, who is asking, music is constantly evolving, and now we have TikTok, which is another platform to promote our songs to fans. How do you see this as a musician? What's your thoughts on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, I think TikTok is an incredible forum for music to be shared. And especially with driver's license, there were so many people who rewrote driver's license from different perspectives, even funny ones. Somebody wrote driver's license from the road's perspective, or driver's license from the person behind you trying to get to work's perspective. So that was so fun. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's so cool that people from all over the world can sort of share their creativity like that. It's really inspiring as a songwriter. And it was super cool to see people do that with my song.
Yeah. In Thailand, we have Met 107. They're asking, what's your favorite song from your new album, Sour, and why?
Oh my gosh. It changes all the time. Right now, I think there's this song called Traitor. I really like the song. It's super emotional. It's kind of in the driver's license vein, I would say. Mm-hmm. But it changes all the time. Usually my favorite song is the one that I most recently wrote, because that's the headspace that I'm in. So yeah, that one's my favorite right now.
Traitor, we got to keep an eye out for that. Again, guys, May 21st. In Malaysia, we got Jux. They're asking, if you can control deja vu, which moment in life would you like to relive or revisit, and why?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. One of the best days of my life was my 16th birthday. I was in Salt Lake City, and after the show that I was on, and they surprised me when we went to a roller rink, which was so fun. And the roller rink played all my favorite music, and my best friend flew in from another state to surprise me, and it was just the best time ever. So I would get deja vu back to that moment because it was so fun.
You have some very sweet friends.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do. That is a great moment to want to relive. Vietnam's Billboard is asking, with the success of Deja Vu now, did you ever think that you would have one or more global hits besides Driver's License from your debut album?
Oh my gosh. I mean, yeah, it's just so crazy. I just feel so grateful that the songs that I write are resonating with people. That's just my biggest dream as a songwriter. And I try not to think of things in hits, sort of that perspective, just because it messes with my head so much. But I'm just so happy that people are resonating with the stories that I'm telling, and I hope that I can continue to sort of share that experience with people.
Absolutely. 99.5 Play FM in the Philippines. They're asking, are there any Filipino artists that you follow or are a fan of? And if not, because maybe you don't, what's the coolest thing about the Philippines you've learned from your dad?
Oh, Oh my gosh. Okay, there's this. I don't know if I think she is an artist, but like I think she was Miss Universe or I think she was Miss Universe.
Katrina
Gray. Yeah. So cool. And she has such a beautiful voice. And sometimes I like listen to her songs and stuff. And I think she's just obviously stunning and such an incredible person. So yeah, I love watching her. People always say that I like sort of look like her, which is insane. She's really the most beautiful person that I've ever seen. So anytime people say that, I'm like, really? That's crazy.
I was just going to say, you guys should like be in a movie together or something, write a song to get music video and play sisters.
I think yes, definitely. She should play like my older sister, or like, I don't know how old she is, but like a couple years older, like Olivia. Like she should be like, I don't know. We could be the same person a couple years apart. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, she's super cool.
That would be something to look out for. The Straits Times in Singapore is asking, when it comes to writing songs, are you the type of songwriter who can only write based on real experiences that happened to you?
Oh, no, not at all. I think lots of my songs are sort of based on my personal life, just because that's like the topic I really know the most about. But yeah, I definitely write a lot of songs from either, like, I guess, imagination. I think all of my songs are just my personal life, but with a little bit of imagination, because if I wrote my personal life verbatim, people would be like, that's boring. So I definitely draw on a lot of imagination. And one of the songs on the record, it's called Hope You're Okay, is written from sort of the perspective of my friends. I don't actually know some of the people that I talk about in the song, but there were sort of like stories that I had accumulated from different friends. So stuff like that I do all the time. And yeah, I write songs from imagination all the time as well.
It's awesome. It sounds like you're really able to empathize with people and what they share with you, and you're able to create from that empathy.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have Easy FM from Thailand. They're asking, how do you keep yourself inspired and motivated when it comes to making music during the pandemic?
Yeah. So for the first 6 months, I'd say, of the pandemic, I actually challenged myself to write a song every day. Mm-hmm. And that sort of was really an awesome exercise for me as a songwriter. Mm-hmm. And I wrote Hope You're Okay. And was that the only one? I think I wrote a couple of the songs on the record in that period of time during that challenge. So that was really great for me. Yeah, I think it made me a much better songwriter.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So you were kind of able to just motivate yourself through the pandemic? Was it a struggle at all?
I mean, I love songwriting, and songwriting is never a chore for me at all. It's never work. So yeah, it's sort of easy to do something when it's really fun.
That's great. And I like this question coming from Malaysia. Harian Metro says, when you finish a song, normally, how do you make sure that it's already perfectly finalized and good to go?
I actually never know that it's perfectly finalized and good to go. I will be tweaking the song until the very last moment when my record label is like, okay, Olivia, we have to put it out now. You have to send us the final version. So, I think, yeah, every time it's different, but I'm always sort of is it good enough? Till the very last second. So, yeah, I'm sort of a perfectionist with that kind of stuff.
I love it. So we do have a lot of questions. Well, that was all the pre-selected ones that our media partners were able to share. We do have some. Berita Harian Singapore is asking, how does music empower you or heal you?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question. Yeah, I mean, writing music is so therapeutic for me. There's nothing like taking sort of confusing feelings in your head and making a song about them, and the song makes the feelings feel so much simpler and more manageable. Yeah, it's super empowering to see me write about, being sad or insecure and see that resonating with people, making them feel less alone. I think that's one of the most empowering things that I've really done in my life.
Yeah, and even the music you listen to. I mean, all these female rappers, all these rappers you've been listening to are very empowering as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have Power 89.9 Philippines. What were your methods and inspirations for crafting the themes of the songs in the album? So we know that Sour is the overall theme. Yeah. Were there certain things you did per song?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just sort of tried to write as honestly as I possibly could, and I think by doing that, it sort of became like this era of my life. We tried to like put like love songs on the record or like more like happy, upbeat songs, and it just didn't feel right to me. It didn't resonate with my experience, and so I think by staying true to what I was feeling, it sort of created that common thread throughout all the songs.
Did you have that creative liberty? Because I know, oftentimes when you're working with a label, there can be a stunt, but were you able to really vocalize what was necessary?
Yeah, definitely. Sour was entirely made by, we had one of our co-writers, Casey Smith, but entirely written by me and my producer, Dan Nigro. So we had a ton of creative liberty over it, which was so cool. And I'm an actor, so I'm used to sort of being on a set and being a part of this like huge production where you play like a smaller role, which is awesome and so much fun. But it was sort of really cool to get to do whatever I wanted with my own album and get to do whatever I wanted with the visuals and the music. So that was really exciting for me. A
lot of creative freedom. That's so great that you're able to experience that. We have Power 98 Singapore. We're anticipating a lot of storytelling with Sour. What's one story you're excited to tell on the album?
Ooh. There's a song on there that talks a lot about comparison to other people on social media, which I'm really excited to talk about. I think that's something that I feel and have felt so sort of deeply, and I'm excited to sort of share that story. I think that's something that we don't really like talk about a ton.
Is it comparison that you compare yourself to other people on social media?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And it was something that you kind of noticed yourself doing and felt, I need to write about this.
Yeah, there's this period of time where social media is making me so sad, and I was just comparing myself to everyone and feeling like I wasn't good enough. And so I wrote a song about that, and I think it's sort of really interesting concept to tackle, and I hope that like people can like relate to it and feel seen, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. I'm much older than you, and I could definitely relate to that still. So I'm excited to hear that song for sure. We have Wonder PH Philippines. You mentioned that there are no collaborations on Sour, which is kind of a rare thing with how many collaborative tracks have come out recently. Was it a conscious choice to have no collaborations on your debut album?
Yeah, it was. I wanted my first album to be just me. I thought that I wanted it to be an introduction to the world, and I thought that that would probably be the most productive if it was just me singing all of the songs. So yeah, but definitely I'm going to be doing collaborations moving forward now that my debut album is sort of out of the gate. So that's going to be really fun for me.
Awesome. And that wraps up all of our questions. Thank you so much to our media partners from all over Southeast Asia for joining us. Again, we're so excited to look out for your album coming May 21st. That's Sour. You guys got to stay on the lookout for it. And congratulations on all the success that you've had this year so far. We know that the album is going to be even more success coming your way. So thank you so much, Olivia, for joining us and taking time out of your, I know, very, very busy schedule.
Of course. Thanks, Margot. It was such a pleasure. Appreciate it.
No problem. And any last words you want to share to all of our media partners today?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited for Sour to come out, and I'm so excited to visit Southeast Asia one of these days.